Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2480 with a release date of Friday, May 9th, 2025. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The FCC proposes changes for testing electronics made overseas. A first for a disaster training workshop in India, and weather balloons litter a scenic beach in Australia. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2480 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Union, Kentucky, here's Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
Our top story this week is all about electronics that are made for the U.S. market but tested overseas. The U.S. regulator is preparing to change where that testing can and cannot be done. Here's Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, with the details.
The FCC plans to tighten its requirements for the testing of electronic devices manufactured in countries such as China before they can be sold to U.S. consumers. The Commission will review an order this month that bans device testing conducted by labs that are, quote, owned, controlled, or directed by entities that pose national security risks, according to a statement by FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr. He identified China as one example of such a country. He said it was important that U.S.-based labs begin taking the responsibility to certify such equipment. According to Carr's statement, Chinese labs test about 3/4 of all electronics sold in the U.S. The Commission will consider the new order in its open meeting on May 22nd. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Never mind space junk from decommissioned satellites. Right here on Earth, pieces of weather balloons have been littering one beach in Australia. John Williams, VK4JJW, brings us up to date.
Remnants of latex rubber weather balloons and foam boxes with scientific instruments washed up recently on the southwest coast of Victoria, where they were discovered by beach patrol crews. According to local media, the half-dozen or so balloons were carrying a radio sonde to measure temperatures, wind speed, wind direction, and relative humidity. The balloons had been launched from Tasmania for a research project hosted by the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, and the U.S. Department of Energy. The launch site on the northwest tip of Tasmania is considered the location of the planet's purest air, making it a preferred spot for scientists' climate studies. Heath Powers, the project's operations manager, said in an Australian Broadcasting Corporation report that scientists are testing more eco-friendly ways to conduct these studies without creating such an impact on marine life. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
In a little more than a month, the U.S. will stop supporting 3 satellites in its important group of weather observers. CellMB KB3TZD tells us what that means.
3 U.S. government weather-watching satellites have been scheduled to formally enter the end-of-life stage on June 16th by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. NOAA has announced that the satellite 15, 18, and 19, which are part of the Polar Operational Environmental Satellite, or POES system, will no longer be updated or repaired. As quoted in the blog usradioguide.com, NOAA said that this means signals will continue to be transmitted, but should not be used by anyone for purposes involving safety or other critical matters. Hobbyists will still be able to download weather satellite imagery either via automatic picture transmission on 137 megahertz with a V-dipole antenna or via high-resolution picture transmission on 1.7 gigahertz with a tracking dish antenna. Like the other POES satellites, this trio had provided data that was used in monitoring the environment, forest fires, volcanic eruptions, and global vegetation. This is CellMB KB3TZD.
As the days wind down towards opening day of Hamvention in Xenia, Ohio, organizers report brisk ticket sales and the hope to match or exceed last year's attendance of more than 35,000 guests over the 3 days. A team of 700-plus volunteers will be there starting on May 16th to make everyone welcome. This year's theme is Radio Independence, and for 3 days it will pervade the 4 meeting halls where the forums are taking place. Tickets can be purchased at the box office outside the main entrance gate. For additional details, visit hamvention.org. The ARRL is also encouraging visitors to download the Hamvention app, which includes the full program and affiliated events. Find the link to download the app in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Thanks to an infusion of money from Amateur Radio Digital Communications, the massive collection at the Digital Library of Amateur Radio and Communications can keep growing and growing. Randy Sly, W4XJ, has those details.
The collection of digitized newsletters, magazines, and online media at the Digital Library of Amateur Radio and Communications keeps growing. And now the library has something else to add to its hefty collection, a second grant from Amateur Radio Digital Communications, the group that provided the original grant that first helped bring this library of amateur radio's international history to life. Kay Savitz's K6KJN, the library's curator, said in the Zero Retries newsletter that the funding will permit the free library's continued operation for another 2 years. He said Phase 2 of the library's operation will include acquiring and digitizing material from the California Historical Radio Society and the Spark Museum of Electrical Invention. The library's most recent acquisitions include the Wireless Institute of Australia's Amateur Radio magazine from 1933 through 2012 and dozens of new issues of the DX Bulletin. Still celebrating the support, Kay wrote in the newsletter, quote, "Excuse the mess. There's still confetti all over the floor of DLARC World Headquarters," end quote. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
The CQ Amateur Radio Hall of Fame, which is now overseen by Ham Gallery, has announced the trio of inductees for 2025. We hear more about them from Travis Lisk in 3 ILS.
The three newest CQ Hall of Famers, who were chosen following a nomination process that ended in April, include one silent key. The inductees are Wayne Overbeck, N6NB, who became a silent key last month, Angel M. Vasquez, WP3R, and Jim Breakall, WA3FET. Wayne, who became a silent key on April 18th of this year, was well known as a co-creator of the Quaggy antenna, which is part Yagi, part Quad. A top-performing contester, he was honored as Radio Amateur of the Year at the Dayton Hamvention in 1980 for his years of contributions to ham radio. Wayne was an educator and a former vice director with the ARRL's Southwestern Division. Angel, who was named Amateur of the Year at Dayton Hamvention in 2021, had worked at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico since 1977. He had served as head of telescope operations and was the lead operator for 2010 Moonbounce project at Arecibo, a project that included, among others, fellow Hall of Fame inductee Jim Breakall. Angel works as the Puerto Rico Coordination Zone Administrator, managed by the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. Jim is a professor emeritus of electrical engineering at Pennsylvania State University and a leader in cutting-edge antenna technology. He is credited for his work with the numerical electromagnetics code used in antenna analysis. A prolific author and busy contester, Jim has been involved in antenna designs at Arecibo and the HARP facility in Alaska. For more details about the recipients, visit hamgallery.com. This is Travis Lisk, M3 ILS.
Congratulations to the winner of the 2025 Amateur Radio Software Award. If you do a lot of portable operating, you may already be very familiar with this program and its developer. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, tells us about them both.
Ham 2K Portable Logger has been a mainstay in the field for a growing number of portable operators since its development by Sebastian Delmont, Kilo India 2 Delta. The Amateur Radio Software Award Committee has chosen to honor the free downloadable logger, citing its, quote, intuitive, user-friendly interfaces and a suite of convenient features, end quote. The software's support of worldwide flora and fauna, summits on the air, parks on the air, and the ARRL Field Day has helped grow its popularity. Details about the logger can be found at polo.ham2k.com. Meanwhile, mark your calendars for the 7th through the 17th of November, when the committee will activate Special Events Station Kilo 6 Alpha, Kilo 6 Romeo, and Kilo 6 Sierra. That spells ARS for Amateur Radio Software, to honor this year's winner and to solicit nominees for next year's award. The International Award is given for open source software projects that promote innovation and freedom in amateur radio. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the W9BCC repeater in Wausau, Wisconsin, Sundays at 9 p.m. during the Rib Mountain Repeater Association's Sunday night SwapNet. Nominations close on the 31st of this month for Newsline's Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Do you know a promising young amateur who is a potential candidate? Consider nominating an amateur radio operator 18 years of age or younger here in the continental United States. If they have talent, promise, and a commitment to the spirit of ham radio, they might just be this year's award winner. Find applications on our website, arnewsline.org, under the YHOTY tab. The APRS Foundation's inaugural Education Summit, originally scheduled to take place in May, has been postponed until the autumn of this year. The nonprofit group is developing a full day of programming that is geared to both seasoned operators and beginners, anyone interested in using the automatic packet reporting system. Discussions about packet radio will include the fundamentals, but will also address cutting-edge applications and what's in store for the future. Best of all, guests can attend the online seminars and interactive Q&A sessions right from their home QTH. Registration details will appear on the Foundation website at aprsfoundation.org when they are available. The mountainous terrain of the Indian state of Nagaland is daunting, but it is never more daunting than in an emergency when communication cannot afford to fail. An amateur radio training program has been helping state officials train in the latest communication technologies, as we learn from Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
Open source classes for amateur radio, also known as Oscar India, has been working with the Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority to sharpen responders' communication skills. In the most recent session, held in late April, participants celebrated a first for responders in the region in northeast India. They successfully used radio signals for image transmission, using the call sign 82NE. District project associates who work for the Disaster Management Authority were able to see the benefit of this image transmission node. They also received training in antenna building and Morse code. Oscar India's convener, Nilikantha Chatterjee, VU2OII, told local media, quote, "This demonstration proves radio's vital role when modern networks fail. While we have conducted similar transmissions elsewhere, bringing this capability to northeast India's unique landscape is particularly rewarding." End quote. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
In West Bengal, India, law enforcement officials in one city are adding amateur radio shacks to police stations. Now they are busy getting volunteers trained and licensed to use them. We have an update from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
2 months of ham radio training began in late April for civic volunteers who assisted the 26 police stations throughout the city of Barrackpore. The sessions are being conducted by Sarayan Mandal, VU3ZHF, Pashupati Mandal, VU3ODQ, Deepak Chakrabarti, VU2TLW, and Jayanta Bafidya, VU2TFR. All are members of the West Bengal Radio Club. The training is designed to prepare the volunteers for the exam leading to the ham radio certificate from the Ministry of Telecommunications. Radio shacks are expected to be set up at each of the 26 police stations and the police central office. The police commissioner told local media that adding wireless communication to the various modes used by law enforcement will be especially helpful for disaster response. This is Graham Kemp, BK4BB.
The Assoc Expo 2025 is a major event by the Japan Amateur Radio League that showcases cutting-edge technology and focuses on training and education for the ham community. Jarl is inviting hams around the world to get involved in the months ahead, as we hear from Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Members of the Japan Amateur Radio League are showing their support for the Osaka Kansai Expo 2025 in a big way. For the 184 days, they are calling QRZ with the call sign 8K3EXPO. The expo opened on April 13th with the first QSOs made by JARL President Koji Morita, JA5SUD. Volunteers throughout the organisation will continue the activation until its conclusion on the 13th of October. According to the Expo website, all the radio equipment for this station is being operated remotely, utilising optical fibre. A radio booth is set up next to one of the expo halls in the East Gate zone and linked to the antenna tower elsewhere on site. Not everything is happening on site. At the same time the 8K3 station is on the air, the mobile station JA3XPO is also being operated by JARL. This is a special call sign that has been reactivated 55 years after its first use at the previous Osaka Expo in 1970. The mobile operation will travel to the 6 prefectures in the Kansai region. Of course, if you think this expo is a big deal, wait until next year when JARL marks 100 years since its founding. For additional information about the expo, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
In the world of DX, listen for the call signs with the special prefixes 4X77 and 4Z77 until the 10th of May. Hams in Israel are celebrating the 77th anniversary since the founding of the Israel Association of Radio Communication and the establishment of the State of Israel. See QRZ.com for more details. Casimir, DL2SBY, will be using the call sign HB0/DL2SBY from Liechtenstein from the 11th to the 18th of May. Listen for him on the HF bands and on 6 meters. See QRZ.com for details. The call sign II3IARU is being activated by Alex, IV3KKW, to mark the 100th anniversary of the IARU and the 75th anniversary of IARU Region 1. He will be on the air until the 18th of May. QSL via his home call sign. Finally, we hear about a distress call that came in via radio, but this wasn't exactly a local call or even a conventional DX call. How about 26,000 light years from Earth? Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB, goes the distance with this story.
It's known as the snake, the nickname by which astronomers identify one dense, elongated filament in the center of our Milky Way galaxy. It apparently has suffered fractures in 2 places. As best as scientists can tell, a fast-rotating neutron star known as a pulsar collided with the snake at a not-too-shabby 1 to 2 million miles per hour and caused a fracture that disrupted the snake's magnetic field, releasing radio emissions from the site of the impact. NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory and the Meerkat radio array in South Africa studied the snake, which is 230 light years long, to get a better picture of what scientists compare to fractures in bones. Radio astronomers combined their findings with those of an observatory in San Agustin, Mexico, and recently released a paper in the monthly notices of the London-based Royal Astronomical Society describing the event. Scientists study filaments such as the snake to understand their roles in how stars are formed. Whether the snake can heal is another question altogether. Cosmic veterinarians don't make long-distance house calls. Meanwhile, patient privacy rules do not apply here. So, you can see images of the injury on the Chandra X-ray Observatory website. The link is in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
Have you sent in your amateur radio haiku to Newsline's Haiku Challenge yet? It's as easy as writing a QSL card. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website, arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to Amateur News Daily, Amateur Radio Software Award, Ambarish Nagbiswas, VU2JFA, AMSAT, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, David BR, K7DB, FCC, HamGallery.com, IFL Science, JARL, QRZ.com, Nagaland Post, NASA, Radio World, ShortwaveRadio.de, Times of India, US Radio Guy Blog, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, Zero Retries Newsletter, and your listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website, our newsline.org, and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2 GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide.
Timeout, 15-second lock. Timeout, end.
This is K8PMI. ClubNet will start at 8 o'clock. NetLogger is up. If you'd like to be an early check-in, go ahead and sign in on the blue screen. I'll get you on the screen. And looking forward to talking to everybody at the top of the hour. This is K8PMI.
the weekly Serenette, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes.
W8WKY.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Northeast Ohio and all the Outlanders. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association ClubNet on the W8WKY repeater. We're at 147 Mark 39 with a PL tone of 114 Mark 8. This is a control net open to any and all licensed amateurs. All traffic should go through net control. But as always, emergency traffic and priority traffic is welcome to break in at any time. Your net control operator for this evening is Phil. My call sign is K8PMI. That's Kilo 8 Papa Mike India. Great. We're going to have our trivia question this evening presented by AAHCS, Gary, and we'll get over to him in a minute to get the trivia question. But just let everybody know that I am running on an Allstar Node, so please take time and wait for the beep. Also, I will check for short times and mobiles right after we get the trivia question, and then we'll just start taking rounds of check-ins. So, K8PMI, AAHCS, what do you got for us on a trivia question there, Gary? Over to you.
Good evening, and welcome to, what is today? I think it's Tenacious Tuesday, but you never know. We also discussed it being 2 for Tuesday, the fact that we have the barometer net and then the club net tonight. So take your pick. All right, well, let's see. Tonight's question, I'm going to give you a little background. Tonight's question takes us back more than 2,500 years to the wisdom of Confucius, China's most famous philosopher, teacher, and moral thinker, known for shaping Eastern thought and teachings on respect, humility, and personal growth. Confucius has become a go-to name for just about any proverb that sounds profound. But here's the catch. Not every Confucius thing, or not everything Confucius is credited with actually came from Confucius. In fact, many so-called Confucian quotes are clever modern inventions, some wise, some funny, and some just plain made up. So tonight's challenge is to separate the real from the ridiculous. So here's tonight's question. Which of the following sayings is genuinely attributed to Confucius? And here's your distractors. A, man who stands on toilet is high on pot. B, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. C, to be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. And D, he who laughs last didn't get the joke. I'll repeat the question. Which of the following sayings is genuinely attributed to Confucius? Your first choice, letter A, man who stands on toilet is high on pot. B, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. C, to be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. D, he who laughs last didn't get the joke. Back to net. This is AA8CS.
AA8CS. What an outstanding question. I like A, but that would be because you don't want to catch a disease. But I'll leave that up for later. But great question. Let's see what kind of answers we get there. I like B, so that's what I'm going with. But other than that, I am going to call for short time and mobiles. So if you're short-timer mobile, give me a call here on the W8WKY ClubNet. My call is K8PMI, and I'm listening.
This is Kilo Alpha 8, Lima Yankee Juliet, KA8 LYJ, Bob, mobile.
Kilo Echo 8, Echo Hotel Golf, KE8 EHG, Mike, mobile.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf, Brian and Norton, in and out.
Kilo Bravo 8 Victor Hotel Mike, KB8 VHM, Tom and Green, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, carry it, Portage Lakes, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, India Mike Echo, David Sterling, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform Victor Papa, Brenda, in and out.
Okay, I'll pick it up there. Thanks for the in and outs. I got Brian KF8G. I got Carrie W8CTM. I got David KE8IME in and out, and Brenda KE8 UVP in and out. My other check-ins was Bob, Mike, and Tom, and we'll go to Bob KA8 LYJ. You're up next on ClubNet here. What do you got? Trivia question there.
W8WKY.
Hey, this is K8LYJ. Mobiling on Interstate 76, eastbound. Just finished American Legion meeting in Rittman, and I'm about to get off on the Barber Road exit, headed toward the QTH. And, boy, Gary's trivia question tonight's a lot of fun. I think Charlie is the most plausible answer to, attribute to the pen of Confucius. So we'll go with that one. And I'll go ahead and turn it back to net control. KA8LYJ.
KA8LYJ. Hey, thank you very much. I got one for B and one for C. Sounds good. Let's head on over to Mike, KE8EH. I believe that was O. If I'm wrong on that, please correct me, Mike. But you're up next. This is K8PMI.
Hey, good evening. Doing a great job with the net. The call is Kilo Echo 8, Echo Hotel Golf, Guatemala. So, G, I'm up next. Maybe that, like Fred G. Sanford. I'm going to go with Bravo. Bravo. The wife says Bravo, so we're headed out in a little run here over towards Alliance, and just figured I'd answer the trivia question. Getting ready for Hamvention, leaving Thursday night, and spending a couple days, and then coming home Saturday, coming home on Saturday. So 7-3s, everyone. Stay safe. KE8EHG, back to net.
KE8EHG, thank you very much, and we think alike there. I picked that number or letter B as well. Let's head on over to Tom, KB8VHM. You're up next on ClubNet.
Yeah, KB8VHM. This is Tom and Green. Just catching the Cavaliers game, hoping they'll take one away from Indianapolis, Indiana. But I'm going to go with B and leave it at that. Back to net, KB8VHM.
All right, nothing heard. Tom may have been in and out as well. So that brings me to the end of the short time in mobiles. So now we're looking for general check-ins. This is the W8WKY ClubNet on this wonderful Tuesday night. So I'm listening for check-ins. This is K8PMI.
Recheck EHG.
KE8 VOX at Kilo Echo 8 Victor Oscar X-Ray Scott Vermillion.
K8 PMI Whiskey 8 Tango Delta John in Wadsworth.
KD2 EPO Kilo Delta 2 Echo Papa Oscar John and Sharon.
November Tango 8 Delta NT 8D Dave and Copley.
Kilo Echo 8 Yankee November Juliet John in Norton.
Kilo Echo 8
Kilo Echo 8
Alpha KE
Zulu Romeo
ZA Eric
Harry in Greene County, Ohio, Hamvention.
Alpha 8 Charlie Tango.
This is WO3X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray John in Cuyahoga Falls.
Kilo Echo 8 Victor Zulu Alpha KE8 VZA Eric in Strongsville.
All right, let me pick it up there. I got Scott VOX. I got John W8TD. I got Kilo Delta 8 Zulu Delta Oscar. I'll come back to confirm that. I got Dave NT8D. I got John YNJ. I got Gary ZZR. I got AA8CT. I got John WO3X. I got Eric VZA. And I got a KE8ZHG. The Kilo Delta 8 Zulu Delta, I think it was Oscar. Can you repeat that call?
I think that might have been me. It's Kilo Delta 2 Echo Papa Oscar KD2 EPO John Sharon.
Yes, that was you, John. I put the Zulu as a 2. So sorry about that. Since I got you on there, why don't you take it away, and what do you think the trivia question is?
Well, if you're going to put me on the spot right away, I'm going to hop on and say I think it's Charlie. Other than that, not much going on here. Liking the fact the weather's finally starting to get better, and hope everyone's doing all right. And my new day's off now for the rest of the year. We're going to have me off on Tuesday night, so I can hop on here on the net. So I hope to talk to you all more often. This is KD2 EPO. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, and you enjoy your evening. Let's head up to the north coast there on the shores of Lake Erie. KE8 VOX, you're up next on ClubNet.
W8WKY, this is KE8 VOX, Scott up here on the shores of Lake Erie in Vermillion. I'm going to go with Alpha for the trivia there, Phil, and pretty much all I got. Enjoyed the beautiful day, and just like about everybody else did, so that's it for me tonight. Y'all have a great evening, KE8 VOX, and then back to net control.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Enjoy your evening, and we'll catch you on down the log. John, W8TD, you're up next on the ClubNet.
PMI and the net, W8TD. Nothing much to report tonight. I will respond with C, Charlie, to the trivia question. Other than that, look forward to seeing everybody at the meeting. KPMI, W8TD.
Thank you very much, John. We'll be clear with W8TD, and we're going to be heading over to NT8D. This is K8PMI. You're up next on the Club Net there, Dave.
Good evening there, Phil. Good evening, all the check-ins and all the listeners, all the club members, and those who could become club members. Hope to see some of y'all at the meeting Thursday, food beforehand. I've missed the last two, so I'm really hoping to get there this week. Had a good piano guild meeting last night. We had a technical on action geometry on a grand piano, and calculating the lever ratios and all the levers inside the piano action. And with my little do-it sample, it was a hands-on thing, and my calculations just came out right, smack dab right on the money. It was supposed to be between like 4.8 and 4.9, or 4.8 and 5.0, and my calculation came out to 4.9, smack dab in the middle. Let's see. Let me get a quick beat.
W8WKY.
I'm going to pick A for my answer, but not because of content, but because of form. Translating Chinese to English seems very, very difficult. Just seemed a little bit too clever and poetic to be a translation. So I'm going to go with A, and thanks for running that there, Phil. Back to WAWKY and TAT.
All right, Dave, that was the first D selected, but the thought behind it, I don't know, you may convince me. All right, let's head on over to John, KE8YNJ. You're up next on the Club Net. What do you got to answer there for us? This is K8PMI.
Okay, KPMI, this is KE8YNJ. Good evening, Phil, and thanks for doing the net. I'm going to go with Bravo on the trivia question. I guess I could have picked a couple of them, but I just go with Bravo on that, so for what it's worth. Anyways, I have no other interesting content for tonight's deal, so we'll go ahead and send it back to you, Phil. This is Kilo Echo 8, Yankee November Juliet.
All right, thank you very much. And that was my guess as well, so we're on the same page there. All right, let's head on over to Harry, KE8ZZR. You're up next on the Club Net.
Hey, good evening, K8PMI. Phil, you're doing a great job. Hey, this is KE8ZZR, destinated down here in Greene County at Silvercreek Campground, ahead of Hamvention. So, I'm sorry, Caesar Ford Campground. I get those two mixed up. Anyways, hope everybody's having a great evening. We got the land yacht down here, and we got everything set up at camp. And it's about 80 degrees down here and humid. I'm going to go with my B as my answer there. So I'm going to turn it back to you. This is KE8ZZR Claire.
KE8ZZR, thank you very much, and you have a great time at Hamvention. That's one thing on my bucket list, just haven't been able to do it yet. You have a great time, and thanks for participating. Let's head on down to Amish country, to Shreve. My buddy Craig down KA8CT. What do you got for us on your answer there, Craig? This is K8PMI.
K8PMI. Good evening, Phil. You're doing a fantastic job, and you got a lot of check-ins. That's great. I'm going to go with Bravo because, well, just because I have no idea, so I'm going to just pick Bravo. Other than that, I wish all the Club Hamley out there good evening and have a wonderful day tomorrow. And Gary, it was a great trivia question, so thank you for that. With that, K8PMI, this is AA8CT. Back to the net with thanks and appreciation. Take care in 73s.
We'll be clear with AA8CT. Thank you very much, Craig, and you enjoy the rest of your evening. We're going to head over to John, WO3X. What do you got for us, and what do you think the answer is there? This is K8PMI.
W8WKY, this is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls. I want to mention that the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club recent volunteer exam session had everybody pass the test, and so we have 6 new technicians and 2 upgrades. One is got the extra. I think the other one got the general. Let's see, and so the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is going to participate in that multi-club POTA activation on May 31st, and we're going to be set up in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, south of Peninsula, just off of Everett Road. So that's where we're going to be operating from. So with that, this is WO3X. Back to the net.
WO3X, thank you very much, and you have a great evening, and thanks for that information, and congratulations to all the upgrades and the new hams there. Let's head on over to Strongsville and talk to Eric, KE8VZA. He seems active on the blue screen there as well. So, Eric, what do you got for us, and what's your question, or your answer there? This is K8PMI.
KE8VZA. Doing well, Phil. Thanks for running the net tonight. Looks like we got a good crowd going here. Yeah, enjoying some of that underseat gum here at the back of the bus that just Nick offered me. It's a little stiff, but the more I chew it, the softer it gets. So we're anyway, trivia, I'm going to go with Charlie. And I successfully got my mower deck put back together tonight. I blew a spindle bearing about a week and a half ago, and bought 2 more. It was not that expensive. It was like $28 for one and $47 for 2. So I figured I'll replace them in pairs. And got that all done. So all I have sure looks like it. But anyway, good to hear everybody out there. Charlie for the trivia. And back to you, Phil. This is KE8VZA.
All right, thank you very much. And you have a great day. Lori seems to be having a great time on the blue screen. So I got her already checked in right away. So I'm going to shoot on over to her and see what's going on. KF8DTP, this is K8PMI. You're up next on the ClubNet.
K8PMI from KF8DTP. I've kind of needed the laugh today. We've had our grandson, and we celebrated his birthday yesterday with him. He turned 3 on Saturday, and my, oh my, Gary was so right this morning. I needed my tennis shoes, that was for sure. It was a day of running and running and running with him. So, yeah, I'm just kind of having a little fun. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. With that, I'm going to hand the net back over to you, Phil. Everybody have a great night. Oh, and my answer's D. Sorry. KF8DTP.
All right, Lori, that sounds great, and glad you were able to spend some time with your grandchildren. That's awesome. So let's keep it in the house. KE8UIB, this is K8PMI. You're up next on the ClubNet, and you're going to share the same answer as your wife?
W8WKY.
K8PMI from K8UIB. Good evening, Phil, and everybody out there on the net. And I'll knock the trivia question out of the way first. You know, I'm doing the weekly message back and forth with my mom and dad, and I think we're all going to go with B, Bravo, and see where that lands us. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with my mom and dad and go with Bravo tonight. Got to be a little different than the wife. And I'm just sitting here and, you know, at the back of the bus on the blue screen, or the back of the blue bus, I guess I should say, hi, on a 2 for Tuesday. So with that, you guys, this is K8UIB, living a $5 dream a nickel at a time. I'm going to hand this back over to Net Control. 7-3, y'all. Great job with the net, Phil.
All right, very good, John. We're going to be clear with KE8UIB. Another blue screen. I told you I'd be picking them off of here. I got KA8MNT. Tom, I missed you on Saturday. You must have been sleeping in, but I'm glad to catch you on this net. This is K8PMI. You're up next on the ClubNet.
K8PMI. This is KA8MNT. Good evening, Phil, and everybody else. Yeah, my head got plastered through the pillow Saturday, and when I did get in here, you were just closed up shop, so I didn't make it. Let's see. Since I am older than Confucius, and I told him what to write 90% of the time, I'm going to go with Charlie. And that's my story. So with that, I'm going to turn everything back over to K8PMI.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom, and we'll catch you on down the log there, and you have a great evening. Nick said he wanted to check in, so I'm just going to leave him off of there. We'll get back to him. But plus, he likes the back of the bus, so that's not that big of a deal. I see an Outlander here. AI5HV, Greg. You're up next on the ClubNet. This is K8PMI.
Good evening, K8PMI on the W8WKY net there. This is Greg, Alpha India 5, Hotel Victor in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. You can also proxy in my wife, Judy, Kilo India 5, Victor, Victor Echo. It's been a while since I've been on. We were in Scottsdale, Arizona for the birth of our second granddaughter and didn't have a lot of time for ham radio stuff while we were there. So hope everyone's doing well, and hope you're looking forward to the hamvention there that's happening this weekend.
So answer to a trivia question for me and Judy both is the letter C is in Charlie.
All right, thanks a lot, Greg. And as always, we appreciate our Outlanders, and we greatly appreciate you checking in on our Oklahoma friends out there. That's outstanding. All right, that brings me to the bottom of the list. I see some other chatting on the blue screen, but I'm going to let you check in. Those are the ones that I got real early. So we're going to take a round of check-ins here on the Tuesday ClubNet. And my call sign is K8PMI, and I'm listening. Go.
N9TN, November 9, Tango, November. My name is JJ. I'm located in Boring, Tennessee.
Mark up in Aurora. Northern Mark, they say.
Kilo 4, Oscar Golf, K4OG, Mark in Kentucky.
All right, I'll pick it up there. Slowing down a bit, but that's okay. We take them I like taking them 3 at a time. That's my typical Saturday till the end, and then they all come piling in. So the first one I got, I'll tell you who I got. I got N9TN, JJ. I got Northern Mark, FQV, and I got Middle Mark, K4OG. So we're going to go to the top of the list. N9TN, live from Boring, Tennessee. It's JJ. This is K8PMI.
All right, well, good evening to you. Good evening to everybody on the net. Hope all is well. I just come in, so I don't know what the topic is or the trivia question or anything. I'm just a lost cause. I'll just make this one my comment. That way you can move along. Everybody have a great evening. And, hey, I'm going to say 7-3. This is N9TN, Boring, Tennessee. And it's not as boring as it looks.
All right, thanks, JJ, and appreciate you being there. And like I said before, we love our Outlanders, so you keep checking in. Let's head on up to a third of the dog pound up there in Aurora, KC8 FQV, the legendary Mark from Aurora. This is K8PMI. You're up next on the ClubNet.
Everything got re-beeped, everything got reset, so that's good. Well, not a lot here happening. Just wanted to stop in. I'm going to say Charlie. We'll stick with Charlie. Yeah, I got some mowing done today. Had to do that because it is growing. We're in growing season now. So, for grass is in the growing season. Hopefully they can get stuff in the field for planting. Because some of that, it can get washed away. If them fields don't get dry enough, they need to be moist, but they don't need to be saturated like a sponge. So, other than that, you gotta just keep an ear up this week as there'll be a lot of traffic passing through. And everyone here should know why. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. So we'll send it back to net, KCLQV.
KC8FQV. Very good. We'll be clear with you, and you have a great evening as well. Let's head on over to Middlemark. but I believe you're Southern Mark now because I still think you're in Kentucky. K4OG, this is K8PMI. You're up next on the net.
K8PMI, K4OG here. Good evening, Phil and everyone. And welcome to the end of my tantalizing Tuesday. So there you go, Gary. I was thinking this was tantalizing Tuesday. Anyway, to the trivia question, I'm going to pick Charlie, as usual. And good to hear, everybody. Thanks for running the net. You're doing a fine job, Phil. And we'll listen for everyone on the morning net. K4OG, back to net.
K4OG, we'll be clear with you, and thank you very much. And when you drive back up here, just drive safely. But we love your presence here on the net. That brings me to the bottom of the list, and I'll be looking for more check-ins. So this is a W8WKY ClubNet. Your net control operator is K8PMI, and I'm listening for check-ins.
W8WKY.
Kilo Echo 8, Zulu Hotel Golf, 88 Southern North, check.
November, Yankee Mike, Yankee John down here in Wayne.
All right, let me pick it up there. We got two of them, and I think I butchered both the calls. The first one was KE8ZH, and I believe it was G. Can you correct that call? And you're up next on the ClubNet. You were barely holding the repeater there. I was able to copy about 25%, but I did get your call sign there. Thank you very much for checking in. You're just in a bad location there. But you have a great evening. The next call came, I believe, from Wayne County. I didn't get the prefix, but I got YMY, I believe it was. Can you correct your call? And you're up next on the ClubNet.
No, Yankee Mike, Yankee. Yeah, we got in about 10 after. Didn't actually hear any trivia, so I was just kind of waiting to see if I heard it again. But you don't need to repeat it. We're just kind of hanging out until you got down Waynesburg, November 8th, Yankee.
All right, very good. Yeah, I probably should have did that halfway through, but I'm still a novice on ClubNet. This is only my second time doing it with trivia, so maybe I'm going to get this repeated here. So K8PMI, my call is K8PMI, AA8CS. Would you like to repeat that trivia question, and then we'll do another round of check-ins?
All right, no worries whatsoever. Here's tonight's question. Which of the following sayings is attributed to Confucius? Your choices are A, man who stands on toilet is high on pot. B, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. C, to be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. D, he who laughs last didn't get the joke. Back to net. This is AA8CS.
This is the W8WKY ClubNet. Your net control operator is K8PMI. You just heard the trivia question. We've got about 28 check-ins at this point. And anybody else who would like to check in, I'm listening. This is K8PMI.
This is November 8, Yankee, Quebec, Lima, Jack, N8YQL in the Falls. We're just hanging out and listening, and that's about it.
W3X recheck.
W8WKY repeater.
Recheck, go.
Yeah, this is W3X Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray John in Cuyahoga Falls. I didn't hear the trivia question. I was busy with the Ohio Digital Emergency Net, but I heard it this time, so I'm going to go with C. Charlie for the trivia, my trivia question answer. W8WKY, this is W3X, back to the net.
All right, John, we got you. Thanks for jumping back in. And Jack, I'm not going to sit here and let you come in with a quick almost in and out. N8YQL, you need to pick an answer there. This is K8PMI. We're looking for you, Jack, to give us an answer.
You know what? I don't have one. To be honest with you, I just turned on. So I'm not sure what's going on. I just wanted to jump in and say hello. I don't know the trivia question, and I wouldn't be able to get it anyhow. But if you want to shoot it to me, go ahead.
That's all right. I'll put you down with what I put down, and we'll try to pad those, because it looks like C's the winning answer so far, but I can't even remember what the actual answer was. But that's all right. You have a great evening, Jack, and we'll catch you on down the log. KD8SLG, you haven't checked in yet, and you're very active on the blue screen, so we're going to get your thoughts. This is K8PMI looking for KD8SLG. You're up next on the ClubNet.
K8PMI, KD8SLG. Good evening, Phil, and all of the Sarah Club netizens. You want my thoughts? That's a dangerous question. Wow. We'll let that one out there for now. Let's get trivia out of the way. I'm going with Charlie. Despite a shorter posture, I think Charlie is the option tonight. That's where I'm going. Let's see. Next week, I will be driving the bus Tuesday through Friday on the Barometer Net, so look forward to hearing a bunch of you there. I am not going to Hamvention. The car ride would kill me, and then walking around would raise me from the dead. How's that? I'd be walking dead. End of the month, I don't know if Josh is going to get in here or not, but we've got the multi-club POTA event going on, so everybody should be aware of that. That's on May 31st, and I think we got 46 sleeps to field day. 46 sleeps to field day. So don't forget the meeting this Thursday night. Hope to see a bunch of you there. And of course, I'm sure folks are meeting at 5 o'clock at Casa Nuestra down the street for a little Mexican before the meeting starts at 7. So, see a bunch of you there, I hope. Thanks for getting me in there, Phil. And back to blue screen chatter. It's KD8SLG, back to net control.
All right, thank you, Nick. And that brings me to the bottom of the list. So we're just shy of 30. This is the W8WKY ClubNet. We're at the bottom of the list, and we're looking for check-ins. Please call now. This is K8PMI. All right, nothing heard. So it looks like everybody's sitting around waiting with bated breath on what the answers are. So K8PMI, AA8CS, we're looking for some answers here on this fantastic trivia question. This is K8PMI.
W8WKY.
K8PMI, AA8CS. Good evening again, Phil. Just want to say nice job on the net this evening, and nice touch as well, getting the mobiles in there, queuing up the trivia question for the mobiles and letting them have an opportunity to answer it. That was a nice touch, so congratulations on that. Certainly not a novice move, my friend. Not a novice move. So, yeah, let's get to the trivia question. The question reads, which of the following sayings is genuinely attributed to Confucius? And the choices were, still are, but were, man who stands on toilet is high on pot. My favorite. B, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. C, to be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterward. And D, he who laughs last didn't get the joke. Another one of my favorites. The correct answer tonight is Distractor C. To be wrong is nothing unless you remember it afterwards. This quote is attributed to Confucius though the exact wording may vary depending on the translation. It is rooted in Analect's Book 15, Chapter 29, where Confucius discusses the nature of mistakes and learning. One of the quotes, one of the translations, or one of the actual verbiage is, the superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. To make a mistake and not to correct it, this is what is called making the mistake. This reflects the Confucian view on humility and self-correction. Confucius believed that making mistakes was natural and even expected in the course of learning and growth. What mattered most was whether a person acknowledged the error and took steps to improve. So that was the correct answer. Distractor A, man who stands on toilet is high on pot. I got to tell you, when I first read that, I laughed out loud for about 10 minutes. This is a classic example of faux Confucian joke proverb popular in Western humor, not an authentic Confucian teaching. Who would have figured? Phil would. All right, let's see. Choice B, choose a job you love. This quote is wildly misattributed to Confucius. Its exact origin is unclear, but is not found in the analytics or any authentic Confucian text. And finally, D, he who laughs last didn't get the joke. Another humorous Western aphorism, sometimes falsely attributed to Confucius for comedic effect, and there's a lot of that around. Anyway, hope everybody had fun with the question tonight. I certainly had fun researching it, and that's it. Until next time. Don't forget the barometer net tomorrow morning at dark 100 hours, and we'll be there with bells on or so. With that, let me turn it back to net. This is AA8CS, turning it back to K8PMI. Again, nice job tonight, Phil.
All right, we'll be clear with AA8CS. Thank you very much for that trivia question, and it was very good. Well put together. I enjoyed it. We'll make a last call for anybody else that just wants to check in and say hi. If not, we'll close her down. This is K8PMI, last call for the ClubNet. All right, that takes us to the end with nothing heard. So from the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association on the W8WKY repeater, we're at 147 Mark 39 megahertz in Doylestown. We now return this frequency to regular amateur radio use. 73, everybody. Have a great evening. This is K8PMI.